now with Harry Forge.
Hello, good morning. My name is Konstantinos Evgerinakis, and I am the Chief Innovation Officer of Catalink Limited. And today I'm the representative of Harry Forge project, an EU-funded initiative focused on leveraging advanced digital technologies to enhance, preserve, and reinterpret cultural heritage. Today we have Eleftherios Anastasovitis together with us, and we're going to explore how immersive technologies like VR and XR can revive ancient musical instruments, such as Hydraulis and I know the other one is not ancient, the organs that they have in the Western music, but in the Western churches. But we're going to investigate together how VR and XR can be deployed and create new ways of experiencing historical soundscapes. So I'm delighted to welcome Eleftherios Anastasovitis, VR expert and the project coordinator of the MusicSphere project, which aims to bring instruments like Hydraulis and historical church organs to life through immersive technologies. So, hi Eleftherios, how are you doing? Everything fine these days?
Hello, Konstantinos. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for bringing me here. It is a pleasure for me personally and also for the members of our consortium in the MusicSphere project to have this conservation. I think that we will have a very fruitful discussion.
Yes, let's hope for this. I have very difficult question. I have very not difficult, very inspiring two questions for you, because I think that these two projects, Harry Forge and MusicSphere, have a lot of things in common, and our listeners could leverage for both of these projects. So, can we start by telling us about you a few things about your journey in XR and VR? Immersive technologies, and what inspires you in this field? What makes you to continue working with these tools?
Thanks for this, Konstantinos. Well, I will begin with my background. I have a Bachelor in Computer Science from the Aristotle University of Thessaloniki. I hold two masters. The first one is in Cultural Informatics and Communication from the University of the Aegean, with main focus in cultural productions through creative industries. The second master is in lifelong learning from the Hellenic University, Open University, and I hold a PhD in Applied Informatics, Department of Applied Informatics from the University of Macedonia, with the main focus and study the Adikythera mechanism from the perspective of immersive technologies and in the context of virtual worlds and story living approaches, not storytelling. So my journey in this amazing world of immersive technologies and virtual worlds began through my first master in cultural informatics and communication, and right after with my PhD in virtual reality for the Adikythera mechanism. Simultaneously, with my PhD, I began my journey in research in the field of research through the Center for Research and Technology, Hellas. I began as a research assistant in the Department of Information Technologies Institute, where I was involved in the DigiArt project with three very, very interesting use cases there, where this was let's say, the initial point for this journey in VR.
Okay, and I know that this VR and XR immersive technologies mainly have to do about representing ancient worlds, basically bring to life 3D representations of museums and this kind of stuff. And my question here is, what made you to evolve from cultural heritage, from these representations to music-related application? It is a very nice and not so expected step.
Exactly. Immersive technologies, virtual reality, and in a larger picture, extended realities, provides many opportunities to recreate, to build totally new and immersive worlds where you have the user always triggered in doing things in near to real life procedures. For sure, immersive technologies and VR was and is still a very useful tool to represent cultural heritage from different perspectives. For example, you can create an ancient place, an archaeological site based on the excavations, and also through creative work there from creative industries to rebuild the whole world. Also, we are, let's say, took examples from the creative industry of video games, where it is totally clear to everyone what we are talking about. Now, regarding the musical cultural heritage, as you mentioned, it is, let's say, represented in digital applications. And exactly this was the main reason that we selected for the MusicSphere project to which we'll describe it later, I suppose, to create some tools and toolkits based in immersive technologies and simulations to provide useful, let's say, methodologies for cultural heritage experts, but also for artists and anyone interested in creative industries to gain as much as from musical cultural heritage.
And this a little bit answers my next question, which has to do about what is MusicSphere about. So this is kind of an overview of MusicSphere, right?
First of all, we have to describe the big picture. It is about the Cultural Heritage Cloud, also known as ECCH, which is a shared platform designed to provide heritage professionals and researchers with access to data, scientific resources, training, and advanced digital tools tailored to suit their needs. So, MusicSphere is this initiative, the ECCH ecosystem is coordinated by the ECOS project, and MusicSphere is a funded project under this ecosystem that focuses exactly in the musical cultural heritage, which is a small part of the European and cultural heritage. So the main focus of the MusicSphere project is to provide a multimodal approach for digitizing, analyzing, and simulating traditional musical organs through 3D technologies, XR technologies, acoustic analysis, and immersive and interactive experiences.
And this involves also, as I said before, I read in Cordis that has to do about church organs, which still exist, and people can go and play with them, but also about reviving Hydraulis, which is an ancient organ, and it's not available basically to modern days. So how important is basically.
Exactly. The challenge was to select from this, let's say, huge domain of musical cultural heritage to select some representative use cases. So, as you mentioned before, we selected the following two use cases. The first one is the church organs, and the second one is an ancient organ, the Hydraulis, as we pronounce it in Greek, which is the ancestor of the church organ. Why did we select these two use cases? First of all, we selected the church organ because it represents very complex musical instruments. It is a representative example. And also it covers, let's say, a huge geographical space in Europe through the Catholic churches, Protestant churches, and stuff like that. The other use case was about not complex, but musical cultural instrument that is in danger. We have no information or very small amount of information regarding their physical, let's say, the parts of their this instrument or the sound that it was generated. As we have nothing functional instrument here. We have got partial documentation for this instrument and also some archaeological findings. So this is something that immersive technologies and also with the help of the assistance of AI and simulation, we will try to provide, to design, develop, and validate some useful toolkits for cultural heritage professionals, but also for artists and also from the creative sector of video games, for example, or stuff like that, through the ECCH ecosystem to have access in this innovative toolkits and let's say proceed further with their work.
I try to now to imagine basically the who can benefit from it. So organ players, students, other people who's going to have access on these tools. Basically, is it going to be open to everyone? Can a person can have access on it from his own home? So to get access remotely and play a little bit with his organs and have this experience?
Well, the ECCH ecosystem, the Cultural Heritage Cloud that is led by the ECOS project, is anchored in the principles of open science, which promotes inclusion and democratizes access to knowledge and digital assets for all. This platform will provide the majority of these tools will be open source and with open access for anyone who is interested in using and reusing them. So one main, let's say, target group is the church organ builders, for example, for the use case one. Another use case, another users of type of users of the MusicSphere project could be, let's say, the churches or cathedrals that want to deliver and to receive a church organ. So before doing anything through simulations and the virtual spaces and space and also the virtual instrument could, let's say, test the kind of the type of the sounds into their space and stuff like that. For sure, having a virtual representation of an organ, it is also very useful for educational or training purposes. Students in music, or also for church organ players, for example, they can do. It is not accessible to everyone to have access in a church organ or in the chapel when you need it or you want it. So you will have the possibility to, let's say, train yourself through these virtual and XR approaches. But also it is crucial for our project that the toolkits that we are going to create here is not only immersive toolkits and immersive technologies. It is also methodologies through AI and let's say from manufacturing point of view, who will assist the conservators or the technicians of the church organs or ancient organs to, let's say, here in an early stage some misfunctionalities of the organ, or some errors that the organ will bring. Yeah, and for sure, cultural heritage assets in general is very, let's say, useful assets in a very large spectrum of everyday life, but mainly in creative industries of computer science, video games. Yeah, they can be used, for example, in new game productions, computer video games and stuff like that, or for everyone who wants to test and use and reuse assets like this. And for sure, the combination of immersive technologies and cultural heritage assets could offer totally new approaches. Let's say consider it as an experimental space to include their technologies that are not mature right now, but possibly in a couple of years or next decade would be.
You forget to mention Hollywood. Maybe also music producers from Hollywood may use it for movies like Odyssey.
Yeah, let's call the European one. Let's talk about the creative Europe. Yeah, it will be useful for them
Okay,
also.
I'm joking. So, how realistic is the sound that the users are going to hear from the instrument, from the XR environment? Is it going to be close to the reality? Understand that for the music instrument, for the church organ, we might have a very realistic sound. But can we have a realistic sound for an organ that we never heard?
Yeah, exactly. These two approaches is what we have already in our mind. First of all, for an ancient organ that is in risk, or we have very, very limited information for its construction. It is not available to have a replica of a production of its sound. So immersive technologies and also the simulation stuff and toolkits that the MusicSphere will deliver here will give the possibility to any user to have an initial overview of how could the sound was delivered. Just to mention here, but that through the MusicSphere project, we will also create physical representations of the ancient of the Hydraulis, which is the use case too. So there will be let's say testing between the physical reconstruction and with the virtual reconstruction that will be assisted by AI. This is one side. On the other hand, we have got the church organs that, as you mentioned, as we all know, it's something that exists. We know we can experience a performance in a church or in a chapel or in a cathedral. So we can have, let's say, a real feedback from the organ. The virtual and the XR reconstructions of these organs, it is something that, okay, for sure, it is going to reach the real, let's say, level of accuracy, but for sure it will not replace the real feeling. That for sure, it is totally different to go to a church organ builder and to change or to convince it that the virtual reconstruction will represent a more, let's say, accurate or more a nicer sound from what he is creating all these years. But we have to keep in mind that XR technologies and XR toolkits are here just to assist the whole process, not to replace. So somewhere between here it is the let's say the balance. And I think that through the collaboration of different projects, for example, MusicSphere and the Hereford or the similar project could proceed this field.
It's like a democratization of church organs. Because also people cannot go to a church and play an organ. I don't know how easy it is to go into a church and play something.
Yes, but and also imagine that it is, let's say, resolve some issues regarding accessibility to a church or inclusion to a church. For example, imagine that you are 80 years old with some issues that you cannot, let's say, be in a church. So through virtual representation and virtual world, you could have this experience from your.
Also, the churches. I think that churches are closing in some countries in Europe. So also people could not have access on them. So this is another problem that the users might experience. In any case, so.
Or the example of pandemic provides a solution.
Exactly. Yeah. So VR can become a standard tool for music education, as we said, and also heritage in one case and heritage preservation in the other. So, what future developments do you foresee in immersive acoustic technologies? Do you have something in mind that we might encounter in the future?
Always I have something in mind. The new initiative that the European Commission promotes, and it is, let's say, in its initial state, it's the virtual worlds. There it's something, it's the European perspective of the metaverse as we know it. But in the following years, this is something that will be developed in Europe. In virtual worlds, we can develop further or recreate all the virtual dimension of our life and create totally new services and products to European citizens and not only European citizens. Virtual worlds and virtual worlds that are dedicated in cultural heritage could provide very, very amazing experiences to everybody. For example, haptics, including haptics in this, let's say, ecosystem, but also smell and olfaction in the whole experiences will provide totally new perspective of the virtual space.
So give us here some food to imagine that in the future we might have some immersive concerts. So except from the church organs, we might have some violins in the VR environment. We might have some piano player, for example, and maybe all of them might synchronize and play a music concert. Can this happen? Because you said about virtual worlds, and I instantly imagine of this thing that why not?
Yeah,
from
exactly.
This thing to
the key here is not to, let's say, stay in our project. For example, for us to stay in the MusicSphere project, for you to stay in Hereford or stuff like this. We have, there are many projects, not only EU-funded projects, but also many projects from previous years that made the research and innovation from different perspectives. For example, the MusIT project did something similar, but not in, let's say, in the virtual space. So results from previous projects or ongoing projects could be combined in this new coming ecosystem of the virtual worlds and proceed further. So collaboration is the keyword here, and for sure we have to be open-minded in new ideas and possibilities to exploit all these solutions that we have in our life here. For example, not only immersive technologies, but there could be a combination with quantum computing and quantum AI to have very fast results and more accurate results and stuff like that. We have to be open-minded, and collaboration is the key word again.
Do you want to leave a message to our listeners from Hereford that might contain some collaboration information?
Yeah, sure. The MusicSphere project consists of a consortium from different perspectives. I would like to mention our colleagues at this point, which is CERT, the Center for Research and Technology Hellas, that coordinates also this initiative. It is the International Hellenic University. It is the University of Malaga, the Fraunhofer Institute with two departments, and also Catalink from Cyprus, and VLabs also from Cyprus. We've got two church organ builders, the Kleis and the Schumacher from Germany and Belgium. And also we've got the Heritage Management Organization and EuroXR Association for communication, dissemination, and training, and not to forget the Technisk University of Film now with the Electronic Media Technology Laboratory. But the MusicSphere project doesn't stop here. We have included also financial support to third parties in a later stage of the project, where we will collaborate with an amount of project, 14 funded project will test our toolkits and also provide some further developments there with an amount of up to 60,000 euros per project for a limited period of 9 months. So there is a place for collaboration in the MusicSphere project. What I suggest to all of your listeners is to follow us in social media and also our official website, and to have a close collaboration. Also, there are some steps here for further collaboration, newsletter and stuff like that, for not losing any news of our project. And for sure, you can easily message me directly through the contact section of the website to look for new possibilities of collaborations.
Okay, so we're looking forward to hearing more about these open calls and a little bit investigate these tools.
Yeah,
It
just
would be
just
very
to,
nice.
to, to give an overview, it is expected on April 2027 to June 2027 to receive applications from any interested party. And the implementation of this small project is estimated to start in January 2028. So it will be crucial for anyone who is interested in to follow us through our channels and media, not to lose these windows.
Okay. Thank you, Eleftherios. Thank you for being today with us.
Thank
Have
you,
a nice,
Konstantinos, for
smelly.
being so nice and kind with me.
I'm always kind. Have a nice, smelly Thursday in Greece. I think it's smelly Thursday too. And a clean Monday in
Great.
Germany.
You too, Konstantinos. Thank you, Catalin, and also Hereford for inviting me and also the MusicSphere project in this very interesting discussion.
Go beyond now with Hydraulis.